Yippee-ki-yay, the Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement trailer is here. I'm Jared from IGN. Let's see what's going on. All right, first off, look at the shot of the 7. Probably the same 7 figures that we saw from that teaser image just a couple of days ago. On the far right, look at this person in the yellow shirt, or should I say perhaps blouse. Look at the sleeve on the hand holding the gun. There's kind of a puff to it, and then it tightens around the wrist. Very reminiscent of women's clothing from the period. This may be a female protagonist. We're not sure because the faces are covered. But that's one possibility looking at that clothing. Moving around here a little bit, look at the guy on the far left. A pistol in each hand, reins in one hand, again face covered. But if he had the reins in his teeth, man, it's practically John Wayne from True Grit. Love that. And then behind him, fellow with the gun up in the air, the rifle. That's probably either a Henry rifle or a Winchester. Rotating around, it's probably a Winchester carbine looking at the length. Continuing to rotate around, we see something else. First off, on the far right, man-made structure against this beautiful kind of a prairie vista under a mountain valley. Absolutely beautiful there, but yeah, there's something man-made over there. And then look at the pants this guy in the center of the shot is wearing. I'm really intrigued by this. I don't know if these are chaps or they're kind of reminiscent in terms of the pattern of Cherokee leggings, Native American tribe that was relocated to Oklahoma. And I'm wondering if we perhaps have a clue here that this might be a Cherokee protagonist. Again, I'm assuming all these 7 are protagonists, and there's you're switching between them GTA 5 style. They could be antagonists, but, who knows? But they put a lot of attention. And then, of course, this kind of classic Silverado shot of these guys riding off, and they're off in the distance. You can make out the town. But absolutely wonderful. A little too on-center to be John Ford. That's more a Silverado picture. So let's zoom back around. There's so much more to see here. First off, just as evocative as the Old West as you can get, single rider, crossing the plain, looks absolutely lovely, coming out of the sunrise. And then here, oh, I love this. Look, if you zoom in, look to the little to the left of the skull and down, there's a mouse scurrying along there. Absolutely wonderful detail, but this is actually even more exciting if we cut ahead here. See this animal, and there's another animal in the center of the frame. It leaps for it, grabs it, and begins to eat it. It looks like there's some kind of ecology going here. Now, whether it's just for aesthetics or whether it's actually a food chain, who knows? But that's a really, really groovy detail. Cutting ahead a little bit, man, look at that shot. It's just simply gorgeous. And there, of course, you can see the Milky Way far above. What a spectacular vista there. I'm interested in this canoe because depending on which part of the West you were in, canoes were or weren't utilized. And this says a lot. But you do see the Dreamcatcher hanging over the shot, which I assume is supposed to be evocative, again, of Native American lore. There are places that use coracles. There are places you use canoes. And there are places that mostly stuck to foot or horseback and used other implements to move things around. Here we have the buffalo moving along with the train. Again, the Great Iron Horse, a intrinsic part of frontier history, and I just can't wait thinking about the possibility of heists where you're cooperating with other people online to do a train robbery. I really hope that happens. It just seems so perfect. Use enough dynamite there, Butch kind of moment. Cutting ahead here, looking at the general store. Do we have any clues on things that'll be for sale? We see things like tobacco, fresh fruit, whiskey, groceries, dry goods, cloth, linens, tonics, drugs, meats. Are these all things we're going to be able to go in and buy and supply and use? I certainly hope so. I also love the kind of sense of contrast that we have between these places. I mean, we have mountain valleys and then we have these kind of beautiful vistas like this, but we also see areas that are just grungy and muddy, like the street. You think about it, you read a lot of accounts of the Old West. There's constant talk of dust and mud by the people who live there. And you look at this, and it's just so gross. And you got birds, you got dogs barking, you got old prospector man there in the background doing his thing, and things decomposing in the street because it's not like there was a Department of Public Sanitation. And then this shot intrigues me more, I think, than anything else in the trailer. I do not know for certain, but looking at these look a lot like 19th century oil wells. There was actually a series of oil digs that went on in Oklahoma and Texas in the late 1800s, and then 1901 at the turn of the century, there was a huge boom of oil in Texas. But there were people actually doing oil exploration on Cherokee land as early as the 1800s, and that makes me wonder again about the connection to the Cherokee we saw possibly. Also very, there will be blood kind of vibe out of this. So that's what we get. It's a teaser. It's a mood piece. It's lovely. It's exciting. I don't know how I'm going to wait another year for this. How about you? Tell us what you spotted in the trailer. And for everything, cowboys, Native Americans, and the great western frontier of this fair land, stay with your friends here at IGN.